Q and AMP. A. 1. What is the primary purpose of MLC 2006? Answer. To provide minimum international standards for seafarers' working and living conditions, ensuring their rights, safety, and welfare. 2. Why is MLC called the Seafarers' Bill of Rights? Answer. Because it protects basic rights like wages, rest hours, accommodation, medical care, and job security, similar to a human rights charter for seafarers. 3. What are the 5 titles of MLC 2006? Answer. Minimum requirements for seafarers' conditions of employment, accommodation, recreational facilities and AMP, food health protection, medical care and AMP, welfare compliance and enforcement. 4. Who adopted MLC 2006? Answer. The International Labour Organization, ILO. 5. Why was MLC created when SOLAS and STCW already existed? Answer. SOLAS covers ship safety, STCW covers training. Neither protected seafarers' living and working conditions, so MLC was created to fill that gap. 6. What does minimum standards mean in MLC? Answer. The lowest acceptable level of welfare and safety that all ships must meet. Companies can exceed but cannot go below. 7. Who enforces MLC on ships? Answer. Flag state, port state control, and recognized organizations, class societies. 8. What is the minimum age for seafarers as per MLC? Answer. Generally 16, but 18 for night work and hazardous duties. 9. What are the MLC work, rest hour rules? Answer. Max work. 14 hours in 24 hours, 72 hours in 7 days minimum rest. 10 hours in 24 hours, 77 hours in 7 days 10. What welfare facilities must a ship provide under MLC? Answer. Recreation space, internet, communication means, sports equipment, when possible, library, and shore leave support. 11. What is the purpose of the onboard complaint procedure? Answer. To allow seafarers to report problems safely without fear of retaliation. 12. What does MLC require regarding accommodation? Answer. Adequate size, ventilation, lighting, heating, noise control, sanitation, and recreational areas. 13. What medical certification does MLC require? Answer. A valid medical fitness certificate ensuring the seafarer is physically and mentally able to work at sea. 14. How does MLC regulate payment of wages? Answer. Wages must be paid monthly, properly documented, and in full, no illegal deductions allowed. 15. What is the Seafarers Employment Agreement, C? Answer. A legally binding contract between the seafarer and employer detailing rights, wages, leave, and duties. 16. Why must a ship carry the MLC certificate? Answer. To prove compliance with MLC standards during PSC and flag state inspections. 17. What is PSC's role under MLC? Answer. To verify a ship's compliance with MLC and detain it if serious deficiencies are found. 18. How does MLC protect repatriation rights? Answer. Seafarers must be returned home at the company's cost after contract completion, illness, or shipwreck. 19. What requirements does MLC set for food and catering? Answer. Nutritious, hygienic meals prepared by a trained cook, clean galley and storage areas. 20. How does MLC prevent abandonment of seafarers? Answer. By requiring financial security, P&I insurance, to cover unpaid wages, food, repatriation, and medical care. Dmlc, 10Q and AMP. A. 21. What is the purpose of Dmlc? Answer. To document how a flag state's MLC requirements are implemented by each individual ship. 22. What are the two parts of Dmlc? Answer. Part 1. Prepared by flag state. Part 2. Prepared by shipowner. 23. What does Dmlc Part 1 contain? Answer. Flag states national requirements for each MLC regulation. 24. What does Dmlc Part 2 contain? Answer. Shipowner's procedures showing how the ship meets the Part 1 requirements. 25. Why must Dmlc Part 2 be approved? Answer. To confirm the procedures are effective and consistent with MLC regulations. 26. How does Dmlc help PSC inspectors? Answer. It provides a roadmap of how MLC is implemented on that ship, making inspections easier. 27. What is the link between Dmlc and the MLC certificate? Answer. Both must be carried together. Dmlc proves compliance, while the certificate confirms approval. 28. Why must Dmlc always be updated? Answer. Any change in procedures or regulations must be reflected to maintain compliance. 29. How does a ship demonstrate it follows its Dmlc procedures? Answer. Through records, logbooks, crew interviews, drills, and documented evidence. 30. What happens if a ship fails to follow its Dmlc? Answer. It may face detention, deficiencies, or withdrawal of its MLC certificate. Circa CBA, 10Q and AMP. A. 31. What is a CBA? Answer. A collective bargaining agreement between the shipowner and seafarers union providing employment terms. 32. Who signs the CBA on behalf of seafarers? Answer. A recognized maritime union or ITF-affiliated union. 33. Why is CBA important? Answer. It provides better wages, benefits, and protections than minimum MLC standards. 34. How is CBA different from MLC? Answer. MLC gives minimum standards. CBA provides negotiated conditions that are usually higher. 35. What benefits does CBA include? Answer. Overtime rates, leave pay, seniority pay, medical benefits, compensation, and job protection. 36. Why are CBA wages higher than MLC minimum? Answer. Because they are negotiated collectively to ensure fairer compensation. 37. How does CBA handle overtime? Answer. It specifies OT rates, maximum working hours, and payment rules beyond basic schedule. 38. What compensation does CBA guarantee? Answer: death, disability, injury, and loss of life benefits for crew and dependents. 39. How does CBA protect job security? Answer: it prevents unfair dismissal and ensures proper termination procedures. 40. Why must ships carry a valid CBA? Answer: to show compliance with union-negotiated labor standards and avoid ITF action. DITF, 10Q and M.A. 41. What is ITF? Answer: International Transport Workers Federation, a global union protecting transport workers, including seafarers. 42. When and where was ITF formed? Answer: in 1896, London. 43. Why was ITF created? Answer: because workers needed a global voice to fight exploitation by powerful international employers. 44. What are flags of convenience, FOC? Answer: ships registered in countries with weak labor laws, often used to exploit workers. 45. How does ITF protect seafarers? Answer: by inspections, enforcing CBA, providing legal help, and fighting unfair treatment. 46. Why does ITF inspect ships? Answer: to verify wages, contracts, working conditions, and compliance with ITF CBA. 47. What is an ITF-approved CBA? Answer: a CBA that meets ITF standards for wages, welfare, compensation, and safety. 48. How does ITF assist abandoned crews? Answer: by providing legal support, arranging repatriation, and helping recover unpaid wages. 49. How does ITF connect with MLC? Answer: ITF ensures MLC minimum standards are followed and reports violations to authorities. 50. What role does ITF play globally? Answer: negotiation, advocacy, legal protection, enforcement of fair labor standards, and fighting exploitation.